អង្គុយចុះ
President, please be seated.
អង្គនុយរដ្ឋប្រកាសបន្ត
The court is back in session. And the chamber will hear through TCW 830 the witness concerning the fact of a 1st January dam. Court officer, please invite Mr. Witness together with the duty counsel into the courtroom. President, good morning, Mr. Witness. What is your name? Answer, my name's Yen Lun. President, thank you, Mr. Yen Lun. When were you born? Answer, I do not recall it. President, how old are you this year? Answer, I am 73 years old. President, thank you, Mr. Yen Lun. Do you recall where you were born? Answer, I was born in Quay Village, Kampong Thmo Commune, Santok District, Kampong Thom Province. President, thank you. What about your current address? Where are you living now? Answer, I am living in Quay Village, Kampong Thmo Commune, Santok District, Kampong Thom Province. President, thank you. What is your father's name and mother's name? Answer, my father's name is Yen Lun. Said witness. My mother's name is Jane. Bain Jane. President, why your father's name and your names is the same? Yen Lun. Answer, I'm sorry, Mr. President, his name is Bun Yen. President, thank you. What is your wife's name? How many children do you have together? Answer, Chom Chain. We have no children. President, thank you, Mr. Yen Lun. According to the report of the greffier, to your best knowledge, you do not have any relationship with the two accused, Kieu Sampon and Nguyen Chia, or through any of the parties in case 002. Is that information correct? Answer: I have no relationship with them. President: and I was told that you have taken an oath or before the Iron Club statute to the east of this courtroom already before you are here. Is that true? Answer: I took an oath yesterday. President: the Chamber would like to inform you of your rights and obligations as a witness. Mr. Yen Lon, as a witness in the proceedings before the Chamber, you may refuse to respond to any question or to make any comment which may incriminate you. That is your rights against self-incrimination. This means that you may refuse to provide your response or make any comment that could lead you to being prosecuted. Your obligations as a witness, Mr. Yelun, in the proceedings before the Chamber, you must respond to any questions by the bench or relevant parties, except where your response or comment to those questions may incriminate you, as the Chamber has just informed you of your rights as a witness. As a witness, you must tell the truth that you have known, heard, seen, remembered, experienced, or observed directly about an event or occurrence relevant to the questions that the bench or parties pose to you. Mr. Yen Lund, have you ever given any statements to the investigator of the ECCC? If so, how many times did you give your statements and where did they take place? Witness: I was interviewed by the chamber. President: did you give any statements to the investigator? President: please wait and observe microphone, Mr. Witness. President: in the past several years, did you give statements to any investigator of the ECC concerning facts or case before this chamber? Answer: I did not read the statements. President: I did not ask whether you have read the documents or statements already. I would like to know whether you were invited or you were interviewed concerning the 1st January dam work sites. Answer: yes, I was interviewed. President: thank you. And how many times did you give your statements and where did they take place? Answer: I was interviewed by the investigator at a quiet village. President: before you are here, Have you read or examined the statement that you gave to the investigator at Quiet Village already? Answer. Yes, I briefly read that statement. However, I could not read and write. I could read simple words only. President, did someone read for you? Answer. Yes, somebody read the statement for me and I listened to it. President, from your recollection, does this statement reflect what you have given to the investigator then? Answer. I could recall some facts, but not all of the facts. President. Mr. Yin Lun, now the chamber provides a duty counsel through vessels. You have Mr. Mương Sovant sitting close to you. I would like to know, have you consulted with your duty counsel before you are here? Answer. I have consulted already with my counsel. President, so you have already consulted your counsel, right? Answer. I had a discussion with my lawyer already. President. Thank you. In accordance with Internal Rule 91 bis of the ECCC, the Chamber gives the floor first to the co-prosecutors before other parties. And I would like to confirm that the combined time for co-prosecutors and lead co-lawyers are 2 sessions. And the Chamber give you 10 extra minutes together with the 2 sessions today. Co-prosecutor. Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone in and around the courtroom. Good morning, Mr. Witness. My name is Saint Liang. I am the National Deputy Co-Prosecutor. Today, I have several questions to put to you, and I would like to seek your clarification for the Chamber regarding your work at the 1st January dam site. And my international colleague will have further questions to put to you as well after my turn. First, I would like to bring an interview in document D166/156 Khmer Ấn, ending at 1787 to 88, and English is 00330720, French 00402983. You stated that you were assigned to carry earth at the 1st January dam site for 3 months pre-translation. I would like to know your exact location where you were working at the dam site. Could you tell the court the exact location, the village, and the commune? Witness. You want to know the place where I did the carrying work at the 1st January dam site? Co-prosecutor, where exactly were you working at that time? In which village and commune? Answer, I was working in Snow village, Kampong Tmo commune at that time. Question, who assigned you to work at the 1st January dam site? And in which unit were you working? Answer, the village chief assigned me to do the earth carrying work. Question, what was his or her name, and what was the name of your unit? Answer, the village chief's name is Lee. Question, in which unit were you working? Answer, it was the mobile units for women and men workers. Counsel, do you mean you were working in a male mobile unit or female mobile unit? President, please wait, Mr. Witness. You need to observe the microphone before you give your statement. Answer, there were units for male and female workers. They did the earth carrying work. Counsel, could you tell the court how many members were there in your unit? Answer, there were many workers in the units responsible for carrying work. There were hundreds of them. Question, did you recall some names in your units, if you can? Answer, the chief of that work site's name was Kaipo. Co-prosecutor, I would like to know about your unit. You stated that you worked in the male and female mobile units. Could you tell the court some of your colleagues' names? Witness, I do not recall their names. Question, did the workers in your units come from the same village, or they came from different units, different villages? Answer, people from Sontok district came to work at that dam site. So as I stated, there were many workers. They were all from Santuk district. Counsel, could you tell the court who is your village chief? Unit chief, rather. Answer. The name is Yi. Counsel, you mentioned about the whole that the workers were all from the Santuk district. Could you tell the court again how many workers there at the work site? Answer. In some units there were 32 members, and some other units there were 33 or 34 members. Question. Did they all come from the same village or different villages? Answer. They were from different villages.
អរគុណលោកតើលោកចាំបានទេនៅថ្ងៃណាខែណាឆ្នាំ
Question. Do you recall when you go to work at that site? Answer. I could not recall it. I could not recall it. Counsel, co-prosecutor, thank you. The evidence shows that the construction of the 1st January dam work site starts on the late December 1976 and it ended in 1977. Could you tell the court about the work that you did at the 1st January dam site? Witness. While I was working at the 1st January dam site, I had no time to rest. I had to do the work during the day and night times. I carried earth and other people also carried earth. And I was doing very hard labor at that time. In that regime, workers at that work site were in pain and they were suffering from that hard labor. Question. Do you recall the seasons that you were working at that time? Was it in dry or rainy seasons? Answer. It was in dry season while I was working. Question. Do you recall that you were assigned to the work site at the beginning of the regime, in late regime, or in the middle of that regime? Witness. I remember that I was assigned to work at the dam site in the middle time of the regime. Counsel, could you tell the court about the work that you did at the work site. What was the work quota?
Answer, please repeat your question. Question, you said that you were assigned to work at the first Century Dam work site. Please describe to the court the work assignment that you did at the dam work site. Answer, I have told you about the work at the first January Dam work site, that we were assigned to work day and night, and we were forced to do the work without having any break time. And the work was very intensive. Question, please tell the court, for instance, the daily work quota, how many cubic meter that you were assigned to dig the ground per day? Answer, each was assigned a 4 cubic meter as a daily quota, and we had to complete it. And we would be in trouble if we could not complete the 4 cubic meter daily quota. Question, did you have to work with your bare hand, or were you aided by machinery? Answer, we were only aided with a hoe. There was nothing else larger than a hoe during the regime. Question, and besides the hoe, were there any machineries used? Answer, no, there was none. Question, how did they assess the daily work quota that you completed? Answer, it was the unit chief who walked around and made that assessment. And for those who completed, could rest, while those who did not had to work harder. Question, what would happen to those workers who did their best and still could not complete the quota? Answer, if a worker could not complete a work quota, the person was forced to complete the work quota. There was a constant pressure from the unit chief for the worker to still complete the daily work quota. Question, what were the working hours for workers at the first January Dam work site? Answer, the work started from 5 o'clock in the morning until 11 at noon, when we rested for lunch. Question, please continue. Answer, yes, as I said, it was 5 to 11. Question, what about in the afternoon time? I mean, after the 11 o'clock at noon, did you have to work during the afternoon or in the evening or at night? Answer, we started working from 5 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock at noon. Question, do you mean that you did not have to work in the afternoon and at night? Answer, I only talk about the morning working hours. That is from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. And after that, after lunch, we continued working until 7 p.m. Question, sometimes were you required to work during the night? Answer, yes, we also had to work during the night. Question, if that is the case, until when you finish the work at night? Answer, we continued working until 10 o'clock at night. Question, for workers who work at night, where did they sleep after work? Answer, shelters were built along the shoulder of the dam at the work site, and they slept there. Question, can you please describe further about the sleeping shelters? What were they made of? Were there proper roofing and proper bedding? Answer, I can say about my condition and those workers who worked with us. We slept on the ground and there was no sleeping mat. We used tree leaves and placed them on the ground, and we slept on those leaves, and that's what happened to me. There were not many sleeping mats, so we just swept the ground and slept on it. Question, did you mean that there were no beds and workers had to sleep on the ground without a proper sleeping mat? And you had to sleep on tree leaves. Were you provided with any mosquito net? No, there was no mosquito net. Forget about it. Question, what would happen if it rained at night while you were sleeping? Were workers who were sleeping in the shelter wait? President, witness, please hold on, and Councillor Kong Som On, you have the floor. Council Consum on. Thank you, Mr. President. I do not object to the question. However, I'd like to make an observation. The witness stated that he worked during a dry season, so it is peculiar to hear a question asking about rain during the dry season. Deputy Co-Prosecutor, thank you to my learned colleague about his observation. Regardless of the season, sometimes rain did drop. And I put the question to the witness, if when there was a rain, whether the workers there got wet. Question, allow me to repeat my question, Mr. Witness. My last question to you is the following. For workers who slept at night time in the shelter, did they get wet if it was raining? Answer. There was a roof, but it was patchy at some locations, and indeed they got wet if it rained. Question, what would happen then if the workers got wet from rain? Answer. We had to work while it was raining. We didn't feel the cold because while we were working, we generated heat. Question, I'd like now to refer to the food ration given to workers at the first January dam work site. How many times meals were given to you? Answer, we were given only gruel and no cooked rice was given to us. Question, and how many meals per day? Answer, 2. Question, President, Mr. Witness, please be mindful of the microphone. Your response did not go through the interpretation system, and we did not hear it. If you were speaking at the same time as the prosecutor speaks, please take turn. Question. Please respond to my last question on how many meals you were given per day. Answer, we were given 2 meals. President, Deputy Co-Prosecutor, please switch on your microphone. Question. My apology, Mr. President. And my question is the following. Mr. Witness, were the meals given to you sufficient and proportionate to the work quota of 4 cubic meter per day? Answer, no, it was not sufficient. It was very little. Question: was drinking water provided at the work site, or where did you have to go to drink water? Answer: we dug a well in order to drink the water, and there was no drinking water provided. Question: due to the insufficient food ration, did any worker protest? Answer: during the regime, nobody dared to protest regarding the lack of food. Unit chief had to resolve the food matters. Question: did workers at the first January dam work site fall sick often? Answer: many of the workers got sick, and if the condition was not serious, they were forced to continue working. They had to work although they were sick. Question: for workers who got sick, were they treated on the site? If so, how? Question: there were medical staff going around the sleeping quarter with an injection. They actually went from one building to the next to provide injection to sick workers. Question: were there sufficient medicines for the treatment? Answer: no, there was very little medicine and it was not sufficient. Question: if workers had to relieve themselves, was there any proper latrine provided or built? Answer: small latrines were built on site, and there were latrines for each sleeping quarter. Question: did workers go to relieve themselves in the latrine, or did they have to resort to go to a nearby forest? Answer: some would go to the latrine, some would go to the field, to the open field, while others went into the forest to relieve themselves. They simply went where they had to, because the latrines were not enough for the workers on site. Question: could you please clarify it again? Were there proper latrines? If so, and were the number of the latrines enough for the workers on site? Answer: small wooden latrines were built, and the walls were made of palm leaves. Sometimes 3 leaves were used to cover walls of latrines. Question: were there enough latrines for workers? Answer: no, they were not enough. There was quite a serious shortage of latrines. Question: and at that time, were there many flies or insects? Answer: a large number of workers were bitten by snakes or by scorpions or lizards. Question: my question to you is that were there flies? If so, were there many flies? Answer: talking about flies, it was unimaginable. There were many flies, and they just hang on to your food. And many people actually got sick because of flies. People got dysentery and other diseases because of the flies. Question: was there any measure taken to countering the large number of flies? Answer: no, there was no measure to eliminate flies. Question: were you aware of any dead or workers who died from disease, from fatigue, or from other related causes? Answer: I did not know about any death of any workers, but I noticed that many workers fell sick. Then they were sent to the hospital for treatment. Question: did you say that none of the workers there died, or that you did not know if any workers died? Answer: people got sick, but I did not see any of them die during the time that I worked there. Question: did you know if any worker died from work-related incident, for example, landslide or soil collapse? Answer: no, I did not know any of the case. There was none. Question: I'd like now to move on to another topic, that is the visit of leadership of the DK regime to the first January Dam work site. Can you recall if any of the Khmer Rouge leaders visited the work site? And I only knew about the visit by Kai Pok. And also a visit by John, and these two were overall in charge of the Danberg site. Question. And besides these two supervisors, were there other leaders who came to visit the work site? Answer. For other senior leaders, namely Kieu Sampon, I am unsure. Please turn on the microphone. Co-prosecutor, I do not know, Mr. President. I switch it on, but it keeps switching itself off. Question. You said John and Kai Pok visited or inspected the work site. Please give more details as to when and who escorted them. Answer. They spent about 2 or 3 hours only on the day of the Danberg site inauguration. Question. And when was that? When was the inauguration held? Answer. No, I cannot recall it. I forget about it. Question. In your written record of interview with the OCIJ investigators, that is document D166/156, at page in Khmer 00321788, and in English at 00330720, and in French 00402983. You stated that, and allow me to quote, I saw John and Kieu Sampon come to visit the work site, and after the visit by Kieu Sampon, rather when he came to visit, I was about 20 meters away from him. I do not recall as to which year he made that visit. However, I believed that I saw him in 1978. I knew that he was Kieu Sampon, as I was told by others at the work site, that it was him, Kieu Sampon. There were many people who were escorted him, and I heard him making a speech asking people to strive to work harder and hurriedly on a loudspeaker. End of quote. Free translation. You stated that you were 20 meters away from Kieu Sampon when he came to visit the first January Danberg site. Could you please pinpoint the exact location of Kieu Sampon's visit? Answer. I only heard people or workers talking about him. I did not see him clearly with my own eyes, as I did not know him that well. Question. In your written statement, you said you were 20 meters away from him. What do you say to that? Answer. At that time, I did not know him, and I only heard the people talking about him. And I personally did not know who Khieu Samphan was. You said that he spoke into a PA, ordering the militia and the people to work hurriedly. Did he speak into a microphone or into a PA system? Answer. I was unsure on that. And in fact, at that time, it was rather dusty and it was difficult to identify who was who. Question. You also said he gave his instruction on a PA through a militia. Did he only give orders or instruction to the militia or also to the workers there? Answer. That is the point that I am really unclear. Question. While you were working there and Khieu Samphan made a visit, were workers allowed to rest in order to go and greet Khieu Samphan, or you had to carry working as normal? President, witness, please wait, and Counsel Kung Samon, you may proceed. Kung Samon, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to object to the last question by the Deputy National Co-Prosecutor, as his summary is inaccurate in response to the testimony and statement by this witness. The witness did not say that he saw Khieu Samphan visited the worksite, and he only heard other workers saying that Khieu Samphan came to visit the worksite. Thank you. Deputy Co-Prosecutor and Mr. President, the written record by the OCIJ clearly states that the witness actually saw Khieu Samphan as he was only 20 meters away from him, and now he says that he is not clear on that, and I try to verify the situation here. President, you may proceed, Co-Prosecutor. Prosecutor, you said people told you that the person was Khieu Samphan. So please tell the court whether the person was actually Khieu Samphan. Answer. From what I could see, it was not Khieu Samphan, but I was only sure on Kai Po and John. But I personally did not think Khieu Samphan visited the worksite. Question. Then, based on your belief, who actually gave orders to the militia and to the workers to work hurriedly? Answer. The orders would come from Kai Po or John, who were on site. And when they were there, we were not allowed to stop. Thousands of us had to continue working and working harder than normal. Sometimes we had to run carrying the earth. And that also happened on the inauguration day when they were present there. Workers were all running and it was cloudy as a result of dust. You could not imagine the cloud of dust at the time, as it was really dusty. Question: when you heard the order from the loudspeaker, do you mean that the order happened on the day of the inauguration? Answer: it happened on that one same day. Question: please tell us who John was. Answer: from what I heard other people say, John was from the North Zone level. President, thank you. Mr. Witness, it is now time for us to have our lunch break. We take a break now and resume at 1:30 this afternoon to continue our proceedings. And court officer, please assist the witness during the break at the waiting room for witnesses and experts, and invite him to return to the courtroom together with his duty counsel this afternoon at 1:30. And security personnel, you're instructed to take Kirsampon to the waiting room downstairs and have him returned to attend the proceedings this afternoon before 1:30. The court is now in recess.